Off your mind, all over the sound.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego politico, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. This one not the off in mind, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar, just they get it higher power. Over naira. See them talk say, make we off mind. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Politico, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. This one not they off in mind, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk.
Similar, my ego, that guy today talk. Good evening to you, good morning, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is my ego live. So I have been away for about 24 hours or 48 hours so far. So some of you have also watched the premiering of some of my videos, which appeared like it's live. They are the recorded videos. So if you miss any of my videos or any of my broadcasts, you can always look out for the premiering part of that. It's like our own replay. So people who have seen it before, those who haven't, and then, yeah, those who also probably just want to refresh. So thank you very much to all of you for joining me. I'm having a bit of a technical problem tonight, but we're going to do it. I have with me, if you have read the caption of the broadcast, you can make your own contribution accordingly. But tonight, I am not going to be the only person talking to you or sharing our views about what is going on in Nigeria. I have a veteran, a regular visitor on my ego's diary, Politico, Barrister Dele Farotimi. He will be joining me briefly tonight for between half an hour and 45 minutes. So he's going to be telling us what he thinks should be done. And remember, on my ego's diary, Politico, we are not one traffic people. It's good to share ideas. It's good to share opinions. Even if we don't agree 100%, there's a lot we can learn from the likes of Barrister Dele Farotimi. So he's currently on the line. He's going to join me in a moment. 1 sec. So I'm going to try and bring him on. Barrister.
Collington.
How are you, sir?
Well, I thank God I'm alive and well, whether they like it or not. By the grace of God, I am alive and I am well. Thank you for asking. How are you yourself?
I'm very well. Thanks for asking. So it's been a while. The last time you were on my ego's diary, Politico, it was when the government of Nigeria turned their guns on their own citizens. And it was because the people were demanding for an end to police brutality. A lot has happened after that. A lot.
Have they stopped? Okay.
Well,
just clearing
maybe
down.
You should tell me. Yeah, maybe you should tell me. How has it been since then? We have seen a lot.
Well, it is the sad reality of the Nigerian that he has the unenviable distinction of being the only one in the world who carries a passport but is not a citizen. And he is ruled by people who are complete strangers and who are untouched by his pains. They don't use the same hospitals as him. Their children don't go to the same schools as his own. Most of the time, they don't even live in Nigeria. Their homes are not in Nigeria. They work in Nigeria. Their doctors are not in Nigeria. Even when they see Nigerian doctors, they are seeing Nigerian doctors in England, in America, in Saudi Arabia, or anywhere else but in Nigeria. So when you ask me if anything has changed, more or less, nothing has changed. It's still the same thing it's always been. But in substance, the Nigerian people have changed. It might very well be that those who wishes to change Nigeria in one way or the other might need to look at themselves and perhaps recalibrate their brains and decide how to chart a course out of the mess we are in. But the people themselves have changed. There's a new
And when you
consciousness.
say,
The whole delusions that have disappeared. Buhari has been such a resounding failure that you can no longer gloss over the systemic rot, the complete collapse of the Nigerian state is so evident that you can no longer argue it. It's no longer something that rational human beings argue over. The only thing you find people talking about these days, they speak wistfully of the Jonathan years, and then they begin to do this comparative analysis of when they start comparing degrees of failure. Jonathan was better, as if Jonathan wasn't as if he wasn't the failure he was, would anybody have bought this disaster they call Buhari? So at the end of the day, you see that the middle class charter does not appear to have grasped the need to imagine a new way out of where we are. But the people themselves, the younger elements, you can see that they are not contented with where they are, and they are determined to find a way out of it. But there is a failure by the middle class and my own generation. Please go.
I see. Good. That is actually why we are here tonight. We have seen that the conversation around if to fix Nigeria, which has probably lingered on for so long, until the younger generation who you considered as to have changed. Yeah. Now they have changed. They are not just that not that they have changed. They are changing the demand as well. Before it was NSAS. Now we have a lot, which is now enveloping the whole country. Break Nigeria up for peace. And we know how we got there, right? So let's take it from the beginning. The insecurity problem in Nigeria, which is now evident all over the world, yeah, it has become so terrible, so bad that the disenchantment between the people and the government, the lead and their leaders, right? So it has become so bad that people are now demanding for the breakup. We spoke about that the last time, and the younger generation are leading that chat today. And it seems that we are heading for that direction. What would be your own view?
You make me laugh sometimes. All of you, perhaps, especially the Nigerian diaspora. You know, when you were introducing me, you were helping me to beg your audience, more or less, to tolerate my own views, which is mostly at variance with those of... I've seen your audience feedback. The Nigerian diaspora are the most passionate about Nigeria. And when they see the failures, the manifest failures of the Nigerian state, they are the ones who are most reactive, because they are the ones who bear the burden of most of these failings. They have to send monies to cousins who have doctorate degrees. Some of them are working jobs and they can't even pay their rent. You still have to send money to subsidize people living in Nigeria, effectively enslaving yourselves abroad. So I understand the reactions that I get off the diasporan audience. But there is, I am very thankful for the kind of cross-fertilization of ideas that I am able to enable because my mind is not closed and I do not suffer from the binary vision that afflicts a lot of human beings, particularly Nigerians. And I'll break it down for you, my brother.
Please.
I was watching a video by Chief Ezeife, believe he was a former governor of Anambra State, and he was speaking and waxing eloquently about referendum. And I have heard a lot of people talked about this same referendum, the magic bullet that was going to carve the different utopian republics out of the evil empire that Nigeria truly is. Nobody should argue about that any longer. But as the more I watched that exposition by Seife, the more I laughed to myself, and I'll tell you why I was laughing. Citizenship and referendum are products of democracy. Until you have achieved a democracy, you cannot have a city. You can't be citizens. If you are not citizens, you are not entitled to a vote. That is why the Nigerians' vote does not count, because they know what you and I have refused to accept. The referendum you seek, if you cannot hold credible councillor elections in Nigeria, but you're asking for a referendum in order to break Nigeria up, what the persons asking for referendum are conveniently ignored to admit, not just to themselves, but to the persons to whom they are speaking, is the fact that a referendum such as the one they are asking can only come after we had finished killing ourselves to some level, after we had finished destroying what is left of the destroyed country, and then the United Nations will come. How many countries in the world have United Nations gone into to help supervise its breakup since the inception of the United Nations? And then we sit down and we speak lazily. It is intellectual indolence of the highest order that makes people deliver concepts that ignores the facts. It is one thing to be arguing difficult concepts. It is another thing to be arguing fallaciously about what our own intellect ought to tell us. What are the objective realities on the ground in Nigeria today? The 2023 elections, can it even be held? Even if, can you hold an election in Nigeria's current state? How much
but that is also due. Yeah, that is also due to the reactions to this whole problem as well.
Like, we are not going to do that. I'm going somewhere with this, Maegun. I'm going somewhere, Maegun. If you remember, I told you, I said there are reactions. Look, in life, when things happen, you have a choice. As a conscious being, you might elect to react or you might elect to respond. Reactions are not always the right things, but they are the things the lazy person would do. The intellectually lazy, the one who is responsive to his emotions, who is not as careful or diligent with harnessing his thoughts, would react. And when you react, you take the easy options. The binary vision becomes easier to embrace. It is that binary vision that makes people ignore the fact that all over Nigeria itself today, the Fulani rules you. Your governors are Fulani in the classic sense of Fulani, because what you are talking about is the feudal system that has overtaken Nigeria, where the rulers are the ones that are taken care of and the people are the ones that must serve the ruler, not the other way around.
Hmm.
That is the problem with Nigeria. So in seeking to run away from that problem, you now say, okay, let's break it up. Because it's a Fulani problem. It is alien to every other part of Nigeria. But that virus has jumped host. Get it clear. It is no longer a Fulani problem that is exercisable by simply breaking up Nigeria. It is a national problem. The affliction of the Nigerian is nationalistic in its face. Kankara is in Sokoto and is in Katsina State. Kankara is in Katsina State. That's incompetent dotard's home state. Those were Fulani children. The whole of Katsina is upside down. Those are Fulani peoples. So when we sit down and we begin to define our solutions in terms of divisions, what we do is that we are playing into the hands of these evil rulers whose intention in the first place is to break up Nigeria so that they escape justice for their crimes. Where else in the world do you have people openly confessing to crimes in the National Assembly, such as the ones that were being confessed to? And even you used it in your introductory clip off the mic. Where else in the world are rulers so shameless? You call them leaders. These are not leaders. They're not even rulers. They are ruiners. In broad daylight, you saw Condé fainting. These people are inciting us. And we sit down, instead of seeing what we should see, it is a class. Is Condé a Fulani man? All the people shouting in the creeks who are busy blowing pipelines, don't they know Condé's hometown? How much has he done for their people? Is Condé the only one? The entire Niger Delta, they will be talking secession. Is Fulani the one who is ruining them there? What about their own local Fulani? What about us in Yoruba land? Recently, I cried out about people after my life. Were those Fulani people after my life? Were those Fulani? Let's be clear about something. We have a national problem. When we break it down in terms of secession, what it does is that it distracts us from what we should be focused on, which is the fact that even if you want secession, you have to first of all establish the citizenship right of the Nigerian. It is in a citizenship right that he acquires the electoral right to a referendum. Only citizens vote in referendum. If you are demanding citizenship, the entirety of Nigeria might then be mobilized against our common enemies. Our common enemies are not tribal. They are not religious. It's a class. When we focus on the class, what we do is to destroy ourselves on their behalf. It becomes a virus, a cancer.
Now let's sort of break it down without having to make it because you keep using the words like national democracy, citizenship, which all brings about Nigeria as one. There are many other components that makes people feel like normally, yourself included, right? You said, except Nigeria goes back to what we agreed to pre-independence, right? Which was meant to be everyone in their own right, ruling and controlling their own selves, right? Which indeed clearly defines citizenship back then. You are a Nigerian, but are you a Westerner, an Easterner, and stuff like that, yeah? So, except we go back to that, we would never probably get it right. The people in charge, the ruiners, you call them, they don't want us to go back to that. They said the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. Now, to now come back to nationalistic, which is still pretty much like all of us will be one, let us have a national identity. We are Nigerian, which, as we are today, many are rejecting it. They are rejecting this with so many other, artifacts too, right? So if you say we need democracy to define this before we can get to referendum, and the people in charge who brought us to this state are saying Nigerian unity is non-negotiable, then where is that breach of getting to where you think we should be if we're actually looking for secession? Where is that bridge?
Let me tell you something, Maegun.
Okay.
I have this manic obsession with concentrating on the race instead of the nations, because I realize that the challenge of the African, of our race, is that we have lost a sense of racial identity. We've been fractured. When I speak in terms of the Nigerian nation, I am not speaking in terms of a preservation of the evil hegemony that exists in Nigeria today and that has rendered everybody, whether they be Fulani, Ijaw, Ibibio, Yoruba, Igbo, whatever they be, everybody in Nigeria has been rendered less than a citizen. We are all indigenes of one place or the other. And that didn't start today. Don't let anyone fool you. It did not start today. If it had started today, you would not have had the Bill of Rights that is enshrined in the Independence Constitution, because that arose as a recommendation of the Willings Commission, which already had the fears of the minorities who were worried that they were being treated unfairly within colonial Nigeria. Not pre-colonial, colonial Nigeria, marshaled by the British. They were already worried about domination by the ethnic majorities. So even at the point of independence, Nigeria was not some perfect El Dorado. But as imperfect as it was, I will go back to, and my mother has this way of explaining this, so I'll borrow from her imageries. She will say that if everybody is agreed to be bound by a set of laws or rules, she could live with anybody in the house. She could live with a raving lunatic, as long as the lunatic would accept to obey the laws that are mutually agreed by all the people in the space. And it is the same with every conglomeration of peoples, whether that be an association of Nigerians living in Canada, wherever they might be, or whether that be an association of broadcasters, whatever human relationship, there are rules that will bind your living or your business or whatever it be. As long as the parties are agreed to obey the laws and those rules, then there will never be any problem in that space. The problem with Nigeria is that Nigeria is not mod to any laws. That is not a function of the fact that the country is. It's just that even if you broke Nigeria into several pieces, as long as the willingness, not just by the government, but by the people themselves, to be bound by laws, as long as that willingness is not in place, what you will find continually is that we will continue to find ways around the law. On my Twitter page, one of my monikers, I said, I am the citizen of an unborn nation. Nigeria is not a nation, but a Nigerian nation might be born. Those kids who died on the 20th of October at the Lekki toll gate, they died in the hope that a Nigerian nation would be born. They didn't die for Oodua Republic. None of them died for Biafra. None of them died for Arewa. And I can tell you from my interactions with the survivors that they were from all over Nigeria, the victims. The ones who were injured that I spoke with, they were both Yoruba and Igbo. There was one that we had to pay to transport to Kanu. He was Hausa. So at the end of the day, you find that those who have bled for Nigeria, not those who are busy making noise on Twitter and Instagram, those who have bled for Nigeria, they are actually the ones who believe in Nigeria, and they didn't die for any ethnic nationality. They didn't die for any ethnic homelands.
So how many needs to die? Barrister, how many needs to die before that unborn Nigeria? Because some people are really tired of that. Right.
There is an error that not only there is an error even you are beginning to fall into. Let's deal with it together. And this is the error. When you ask me the question, how many need to die? That question suggests that there is something that I could do or a position I could shift that would deliver a better alternative other than the one that I am canvassing. Let me, for the sake of argument, say to you, okay, so you want Nigeria to break up. At the end of the day, you and I can agree on everything except tactics. We all agree that the 1999 constitution is fraudulent. We all agree that Nigeria is not going the right direction. We all agree that something needs to change. Nigeria has to be, something needs to change. We can all agree on that. Where we diverge is the point where you are of the opinion that the solution is in a breakup. And I am explaining that I am not telling you that might not resolve the Nigerian problem. But I am explaining to you that that is not achievable within the objective realities in the absence of a war. We're already at war in Nigeria. I don't know if you guys are not paying attention because you are outside Nigeria. I wanted to go to Ibadan the other day. Ibadan. I'm in Lagos. I wanted to go to Ibadan. And I had to be worried because herdsmen are kidnapping on Lagos Ibadan every day.
Let me tell you, sir, what I actually...
That was a road I used.
It was probably, you were, back in the days, we were only worried about bad roads or bad portions or anything. But these days, we have to add the kidnappers and all of that to it. But I'll tell you where I was coming from when I said, how many? Go on, you want to say something?
When you ask the question, how many have to die? The only thing I can
want to tell you why.
The binary vision that leads us to think that the only way to stop that loss of life is to break Nigeria up, ignores the fact that to get to the point of his breakup, we would have to travel the road to Mogadishu. That road to Mogadishu, it is easy for those who are not, on whose doorsteps those battles are not going to be fought, not to think beyond the nice. Battle is not romantic. It's not easy to tell a mother her son is dead. It's not easy to bury a son or a father or a brother or a mother. It's not easy to watch children starve to death. Nigeria will be worse than Yemen if we allow it to go to the dogs. I'm not suggesting inaction. I'm not saying let's fold our hands and wait for Armageddon to come. I have never suggested that. But what I'm explaining to all of us is simple. If we truly do not want to be counting bodies, the way to stop it is to, first of all, correctly diagnose our problem. Our problem is not the Fulani man. The Fulani man is also a victim. Our problem is not the North. The biggest victims of the current problems in Nigeria is the northern part of Nigeria. There is no northern Nigeria that is monolithic. It's a huge mass of humanity with diversities unseen in the southern part of Nigeria. When you begin to speak in terms of the North, in terms of the breakup, there are millions of people in what is glibly referred to as the North who don't want to hear what you are saying at all. But all of them are interested in a Nigeria that works for all Nigerians. It is easy to speak to a Fulani man about fighting for a Nigeria that works for all Nigeria. And even if he will not agree with you, he will not be able to stand up and argue against your demand for equality. If you are arguing and you're asking the Benue man to come into an alliance to build a better Nigeria, he can hear you without worrying about you abandoning him to face the Fulani hegemony. If they're speaking with the Jukun, it's easy to get his buy-in. You can get Nigerians to unite behind a platform that is demanding equal citizenship for every Nigerian, obviously anchored to a decentralization of power, a return to regionalism, and obviously a return and definite foundation in the rule of law. But the alternative, look, everything I just told you now is not going to be easy. I didn't tell you it's going to be a walk in the park. There's going to be difficult. It will be arduous.
There's something I wanted to add when I asked that how many needed to die or how many needs to die again, right? You see, we can all be, whatever we discuss here, we have a lot of people who are listening and watching us. And we actually have some people who actually take what we say, to action. They act on them. So today, we can also, in evidence, right, we can see that it has gone beyond people reacting to what is going on, where the self-defense issue came in. It has become so obvious that many parts of Nigeria today, right, those who have made it public, they have done so much on self-defense, how they are going to protect themselves, which has shown that the security, wherever in Nigeria, has collapsed. You also affirmed that, right? People are already being killed every day. We deal with that for a long time now. It keeps getting worse, right? In Yoruba land, where you and I come from, where we used to worry about bad road to Ibadan, now we have to add bad, kidnapping to it. Traveling from Lagos to Ondo, you have to be worried. Those were not there, and those are the reality today. Some people are suggesting solutions. They are working around the clock in their own way. But there's one thing. All this effort has led to further insecurity so far. Our people have turned to refugees in Benin Republic. That's evident. Now, why I said how many needs to die? Because here it is. It seems that all the complaint, all the evidence, all things going on, the people in charge of Nigeria keep saying they are doing their best. And if we keep waiting, and they are not ready to look at what you said just now, which is, let's look into the structure of the country. It's good to go back to regionalism, so many other things to change, decentralized power. These were demands. They were legit for decades now. Some people have politicized it, commercialized it, made money from it. I know. But people are now saying, all this style tried before, they are no longer tenable. And if those in charge today are not agreeing with the people will show it to them. Now, why I said how many needs to die is that shouldn't those people listen to the real people if they are now making it obvious? We have seen it. The campaign, the awareness for Oduduwa Republic. We have seen the Biafrans. We can't deny them, right? Shouldn't they be listened to if you think a restructured, a reset country will bring about what you think will keep us? I mean, shouldn't...
It is not the obligation of the oppressor to free the oppressed.
Okay.
It is the obligation of the oppressed to break the chains of oppression. Let us be clear about that. The beneficiaries of a fraud, of a system, are hardly going to be enthusiastic about bringing to an end a system that has guaranteed them generational wealth and curses, that has bought them undeserved luxuries, and that has taught them that human beings are to be discarded almost as chattels. So it is actually up to those who are oppressed to imagine the way out of their snares. And I say this, bearing in mind that I've already pointed out, and I am very serious about this because it is the truth. One of the things that you will find that the Nigerian ruling class does effortlessly is that it promotes the embrace of violence. But we must think beyond it. When somebody is provoking you into violence, it should interest you to ask the question, why? The person provoking you into violence is probably already prepared because he's hoping you will embrace the violence. And that is what the Nigerian state has done unerringly throughout his lifetime. And I'm saying to us, look, we've already identified what our solutions are because we all know the problems. There are no Nigerians who do not know the problems. But we are all distracted because of the divisions we have embraced. Let's look beyond our divisions. Let us look at it. What is it that ails the common Igbo man that does not ail the common Yoruba man? What ails the common Hausa man that does not ail the common Ibibio man? What is it that afflicts the common Fulani man that does not affect the man in Arochukwu? The problem is that our true problems are national in nature.
And that's what that's where the disagreement comes in. Sorry to cut you there again, right?
No.
I'll
tell you, you can speak about class. You can speak about class disparities.
But people don't want to nationalize their problems anymore.
No,
and people are not listening to them.
The people. No.
Don't you think that's the missing
right
link?
To be stupid.
Yeah.
If they want to be stupid. Let me explain something.
Okay.
The people have a right to be stupid if they wish to be stupid. But idiocy cannot be excused in those who presume to lead. If the people do not know, the duty of the leaders is to lead. Leadership is not always going to be popular. You are not always going to be able to take popular decisions. You are going to be able to take difficult decisions on the basis of your knowledge of the problem, your appreciation of the problem. I have looked at these problems all my life. I was once an Odua secessionist.
So what changed your mind?
My past is there to speak for me. Because I realized that the only path, to any successful secession in Nigeria runs through a restructured Nigeria. And I would explain, see, structurally it is impossible to break Nigeria. People don't take the time to look
we
through
actually
the
know.
problems.
See, sir, we do know that it's not going to be easy. If we want to take the easy route, which is to discuss all this citizenship and rights and all of that, right? That is called for a national conversation that is genuine, that represents everyone, right?
Why don't we mobilize?
They said no.
Don't we focus on why don't we?
They said no.
Why are you expecting them to say yes? Why
because
do you
they unleash
expect
violence
them to say yes?
But they unleash violence on us when we go peaceful about it. You know it. Okay, go on, sir.
No. My We, that includes you.
Okay.
We are taught leaders. That simply means that there are times when we will take positions that we will need to explain because they might sound outlandish when first expressed, or they might take the movements in our paradigms to get us to understand the sense in adopting those positions. Let me explain something to you, Maegun. If we all agree as a people that it is not going to be easy to break up Nigeria, we all agree that, you say? If we all agree that, why can't we also, in the same vein, agree to mobilize ourselves? All of us who agree that it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying agree to do it under the auspices of the existing order. I've talked to you about revolution several times. What is a revolution? When a system changes, what is stopping us? I'm sure when you say they kill us when we demand changes, you are referring to the NSAS murderers, Abi, the murders of the NSAS victims. That's what you are referring to. And
There's
I'll
a
say
lot.
to
There's been a lot of massacres they've committed after that too. You know,
yeah, the Nigerian
they've
state. Look, the
they've done it in
Nigerian state.
Obingbo, done it in Olu, they've done it in Abia. They continue to kill, and that's what they do.
See,
So people are now being pushed to the point of picking up defense. That's the point we are now. You know what I mean now? People would like to do it peacefully. Yeah, go on, please.
Maegu,
Sir.
War is not glamorous. It is a dangerous game. The only people who profit from war, the currently existing rich people in Nigeria, and the white people, their partners abroad, both in Europe and in Asia, who will sell them the guns and who will ferry in the essentials. So when the like of me are talking, and I've told you that, look, I made this same secessionist argument out of the frustrations of a spurned patriot. If your country will not offer you patriotism because you are not a citizen, it becomes logical that you begin to find the next romantic ideal, which will be your homeland. So all of us embrace this. But what I'm explaining to you is this. I cannot tell anyone to abandon the defense of their selves and their properties. Those are inalienable rights belonging to any living being, not just a human being. Even an animal will turn and face you if you chase it to a point, and it cannot escape. It will turn and face you. Even in the animal kingdom, we've seen buffaloes facing lions. So let's be clear. I'm not saying that people should fold their hand and wait to be killed. But I am explaining that even as those who will sharpen their knives and those who will hold their guns are busy doing that, those who consider themselves leaders of thought should continue to do everything they can to identify the commonalities of the Nigerian affliction. Because just as you and I are afraid to use Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, some people are afraid to use Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. The children of Kankara are unable to sleep with both eyes closed. That is a national, it then means that insecurity is a national affliction that is manifesting in different facets in different parts of the country. In the Northeast is an ongoing war. In the Northwest is an undeclared war. In the North Central, it is the same. Nigeria is essentially, and then the Nigerian state is busy fighting its own citizens in Olu, as you've pointed out. The Nigerian state is busy killing up and down the place. He's a practitioner and an expert in the art of killing his own people. So when you say they kill us, yes, they would. But you see, this is the thing, my brother.
Yeah.
In the long history of Nigeria, and I stand to be corrected by anyone who dares, let them come out and say I'm saying the wrong thing here. There has not been a single time, not once, not once in the long history of Nigeria has there been a single time when Nigerians have agreed to come together behind a common demand for citizenship. Not once. We have demanded secession. We have fought a war because of it. Another one is already looming because of secession. But we have not once in all these years, either before independence or after, attempted to build the nationalistic platform. Why is that beyond us?
Let me chip in something there, which I'm going to actually appreciate if you can also elaborate for us. There's something we should clear tonight in this presentation, because I don't want to make it look like, oh yeah, we are reacting to what they are throwing at us. But we should always be very clear. Nobody slept and woke up and said they are parting away with Nigeria simply because they were tired of Nigeria only. There are many, many problems that culminated into this until it became obvious that the problem of Northeast, problem of Northwest, is no longer problem of Northeast or Northwest anymore. And when we say that, we are talking about our own people from the other part of Nigeria too, who have also fell victim, either killed, kidnapped, or even made refugees. These are now existential threats, right? That has prompted people to say, if Nigeria can protect us, why are we still part of that Nigeria? And then you agree that, well, it's a national problem. It can be shared. You also agree that there's nothing wrong with people defending themselves.
Michael, let me interrupt you and ask you a question. Let me interrupt you and ask a question. Because when people, there was something I said you might sometimes need to do reverse engineering to save Nigeria. Our people are tired, right? They have been rendered refugees in their own homelands. Ogun State people have crossed into Republic of Benin, particularly in the Yewa axis.
Area, Yewa North.
I think in Meko axis, I'm told. Yeah. Now, question is this. Where are the elected or rigged-in representatives of those people? Where is their governor? Where are the rulers? Where are the elders? Me and you were sat here, we are speaking Dogon Turenchi. How many Yoruba obas and governors and senators and House of Reps members, House of Assembly members have you heard standing up to speak?
And because
we are
they
busy
didn't
demanding.
Speak.
Sorry?
No, I'm gonna reply quickly. Just before I said I'm gonna reply quickly. In their absence, sir, you know it. Because they didn't speak up. They won't speak up, right? Then the likes of Sunday Igboho had to come to picture. No. Yeah, there's something I want to add. Yes. Because they won't speak up for the people. I wanted to say it will get to a stage that people can revolt against them, right? Defending themselves if their leaders won't do it. But we have people who have already come up to say they will defend Yoruba land because Nigeria can no longer defend them. The leaders, elected ones, those parading themselves can no longer defend them. That is the current reality. So us now trying to take those people back to Nigeria can unite, we can listen to ourselves, what are the leaders doing? It seems that some people are already past that stage. By Farotimi. And I'm saying it to you, you may not take it up fully, but can you deny it? Can you? That some people have actually crossed that path of waiting for those people. I'm with you.
Yeah. See, let me put it this way.
Okay.
I will repeat this. I have never stood up anywhere to demand that an oppressed person should give up his right to his defense. Never. You will not hear my voice. You will not hear my voice in condemnation of anyone fighting for his right. I might deprecate his methods, especially if there is an embrace of violence, except it be in self-defense. But I will never speak against a man who is acting in defense of himself or his property. If the government is incapable of defending people, then the people have every right to defend themselves. I would defend myself. So if I would defend myself, and I'm not Jesus Christ, if you slap me, I'll shoot you unless I don't have a gun. Jesus might turn the other cheek. I will shoot your ass if I have a gun on me. I'm not Jesus Christ. So I'm not going to tell Mr. Igboho how to respond to the insanity that we are all faced with. Yorubas have a proverb. So if Mr. Igboho is able to speak the language understood by the madmen that have come from without, who am I to silence his voice? Or do I have a bigger voice with which to silence the insanity? So I am not going to ever ask a person. But there was a time when I was so silly as to be asking Yele Showore, for instance. I said, Yele, you have to renounce violence. And then later on, in recent days, when I When I remember that conversation with him, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm asking a victim to renounce violence against a venally brutal oppressor. That is idiocy. I am never going to ask a victim how to defend himself. I'm not going to restrict. If somebody is coming to your house with gun, why should I tell you to receive him with ice water? But
because that's the reality now. Mm-hmm.
The reality now will not always be the reality. And those who might desire Nigeria, they are taking on more than they can swallow. We will eventually, after every war, people sit down to negotiate. They talk. I'm saying to us, don't let us lose the will to speak to ourselves.
Yeah.
Let us
Just
be
1
able
second.
to talk to ourselves.
Sure. Barrister, people are saying they want to talk to you before you go. Okay. So I have a caller. Yeah. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Maegun, thank you, my general.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, your name and where you're calling from, please.
1 sec. Hang on. 1 moment. I'm going to check something. It's like I can hear myself again. You can please turn down the volume of the broadcast, please. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's better now.
Anthony, I am a Biafran by birth and by everything. I enjoy your show, but I am getting a little bit, worked up by this turbulent conversation. You can see a lot of people are getting agitated. Without due respect to Barrister, without his opinions, but you cannot tell me you agree to people defending themselves and they have no right also to withdraw and leave the situation that is making their lives miserable and uncomfortable.
I did not say that.
The most important thing in human life is the struggle for survival and the defense of one's life. A situation whereby you find yourself in a situation that is about to take your life or that is making your life uncomfortable. You have every right to defend yourself.
He agrees, by the way. He agrees that everyone has the right to defend themselves. You know what I mean? He did agree.
Noted. Noted.
Okay.
But his argument is not taking, giving us either he is on the side of withdrawing from one Nigeria philosophy or staying in one Nigeria philosophy. He seems more or less like an advocate of one Nigeria, or stay and continue to manage the status quo. Nigeria, for God's sake, can never work. Even the devil knows that. Secondly, I don't want to accuse the omnipotence of God. I was talking with a friend today, and the person said to me, I'm calling from the United States too.
Sure.
The person said to me, it looks like God has gone on vacation from Nigeria. That our God who lives in Nigeria is in Dubai having a vacation. I said to him, it was just a joke. But if you look into that conversation, there is a message there. Nigerians prefer to start to speak grammar and to massage the craziness of our political gladiators and all those who rigged themselves and got themselves into power, rather than questioning them and pulling them down. For good reasons, not for bad reasons.
Thank you, Anthony. Remember, we have to manage the time too, Anthony. We have other people. Sorry.
Okay. One last point.
Yeah.
I have a video I'm going to send to you to this WhatsApp so that you look at it.
Yeah.
The governor of Kano State went to see Buhari and listed so many projects going on in Kano, and I was wondering, is this in the same Nigeria that we are? I got pissed off. I couldn't continue with that message. I'm going to forward it to you. I work for this government. I move into the villa and come out. I resign from that government. I know what I saw. I'm not saying it to hide it. I have more details than of so many people, than even some of you who are talking. Both in security-wise and even in terms of how everything works. I got angry. And that was why I resigned. So
thank you, Anthony. Yeah, thanks for your contribution. He is going to respond accordingly, okay? So I'll take another call. Thank you very much, too. So I'm going to take another call. just one more, barrister. Then you answer both before we call it a night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. This is Mayegun, and I have here with me barrister Dele Farotimi. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Ade. I'm calling from London.
Ade from London, please.
Yeah,
2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, for me, I have a lot to say, but I cannot say a lot.
We all do, yeah. But let's manage the time.
I realize that we don't know what we are doing at all. And these people, they are more wiser than us. We try to think that we are more wiser or more knowledgeable than these people. But I realize that these people, they have their plan and they know what they are doing. I don't think we really know what we are into. For me, that's the whole picture I'm saying. Because these people, I know you know a lot. See the way these people are executing their plans. These people are waited for a while for Buhari to get in. As soon as Buhari got there, you see the way they are doing? I realize that these people, I think we don't know what we are doing and we don't know what we are into. For me, it's better for us to realize a lot of things. Maybe if we realize a lot of things, maybe we can try to plan ahead. These people, they are more than us. They are ahead of us. We don't need to be shying away from big grammar. I came to this law and realized that all this big grammar will not save us. We are claiming we educated, we went to Harvard. These people, they are not. See the way they are holding Nigeria. All of us.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Grammar. Yeah. All this enough grammar. We don't need all this. Just know to
what we should do. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. So let me take one more, and this one is from somebody from Oduduwa Republic. They may have something for you this time. So, hello there.
Hello, Michael.
Hello. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Yemi Saka.
Yemi Saka. These are veterans of Mayegun's Diary. How are you, sir?
Oh, very well, my brother.
Good one. So you have the floor.
Yeah, we followed the conversation tonight, and it becomes so worrying that it's as if that we in diaspora see beyond, or we see more of what is happening at home than those who are home. But however, I think there's an adage. Are we Yoruba adage that says I'll put that in English. That says, are we? If I happen to be the only man in my house, then we have several female women, and an outsider come in to ravage our house, would I coward in, or I will stand up to
defend the women?
To defend the house. But now we have seen our fathers died 60s, 70s, queuing at local. They work railway. They died in local at the Bitumen there, unpaid. Their pensions were never paid. We were talking about 80s. I witnessed that coming from 80s to 90. I witnessed when there was no more history in school. I witnessed when we're giving free books in school. I witnessed when all of these things,
but they are gone today.
Are gone. And I witnessed where my mates, those who are older than we are, and younger, struggling, scavenging, striving. We ended up believing that, this government, just let's leave them as long as you can survive. Just go about your own thing. Get some as long as you have something to buy. Yeah, just carry, go on. And we neglected them till all of this. We all know that all of these people are alien. Is it until they suck us dry? Nothing is left. Can we just please at this point try to salvage back something for our own generation, even though we have lost everything already? Can we get something? No matter, I put on the chat there that we don't want them to be accountable for whatever they have taken. We want to salvage the remaining, the leftover for our children and children unborn. Please.
Let barrister respond. Yeah, thank you so much, Yemi. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love that passion. I love that. So, Barrister, sorry for keeping you waiting for too long, but I love the fact that our friends can phone in to speak to you. So, sir, you can take it off from there.
Let me quickly
Few
say
ones
this
you
to
pick.
you. Let me say this to you.
Please.
Passion is good, but it doesn't drive cars. Hunger is not a recipe for change. You can get as angry as you care to get. The fact of the matter is that without a plan, you are just shouting for nothing. You can sit in the diaspora and speak of referendum as though the constitution, as fraudulent as it is, we can all agree that it is fraudulent. But all those speaking of constitution, speaking of referendum, let them show me where in your stupid constitution the referendum is inscribed. So when you speak of precepts and concepts that do not exist in the present, what you are suggesting is that it must come out of disorder. Nigeria is already a country at war. I concede that. There is nothing you are complaining about Nigeria that I'm not complaining about Nigeria. All of you are in the diaspora. I am living there. I live in Nigeria, for heaven's sake. My children are in schools in this country. They are in schools. I drive on the bumpy roads. I'm the one who drives in the insecurity. You can sit in the comfort of exile and speak of the clarity with which you see Nigeria, but that is my living existence, is my reality. I have not been as sane as you, so I have not escaped. I live there. But even though I live there, I am not blind to the insanities with which I exist. And I'm explaining to all of you that when you are speaking of referendums and your fantastic Oodua Republic and the Biafran Republic, you must keep it at the back of your mind that the achievement of those republics in the current context of Nigeria would only happen after a war. Those wars will be fought over people's lives. So as romantic as your solutions might sound, they will be battered in blood. Have I discounted the sufferings? No. Have I discounted the truth of the pain? No. Have I suggested that we should fold our hands and just go to sleep? No. I am suggesting you get away from the hatred and understand the fact that if you want to get rid of the Fulani in Sokoto, what about the Fulanis in your Sokotos? What part of Nigeria is functional the way it is right now? Why are we not focusing on our local rulers the way we are focusing on you? If you focus on the local rulers, there is nothing achievable within each and every one of the several republics we will have in Nigeria that is not achievable within a Nigeria that we fight to gain for ourselves. Why are we giving up on it and demanding what we cannot get? To get what you are asking, you are confirming that you are willing to go to war. Because these people, you've already said it, to even just give ordinary answers, they killed. You are asking to break up Nigeria. What do you think will happen? I'm not saying people have no right to demand their tribal homelands. I have never. But I'm telling you that it is not sufficient to tell me you want to have eggs and bread for breakfast. Remember that you are going to have to fry the egg. You are going to have to bake it. There will be oil. There will be fire. Before you serve that egg and breakfast on your table, some poor hen has lost his chicken, has lost his chicks. You fried it. There is a process to get to where you are going. In the situation where your constitution, fraudulent as it is, has not provided anything that gives you the opportunity for referendum. There are no democratic paths to a referendum. You cannot even organize a local government election. And then we are talking about referendum in the current situation of Nigeria. What you are going to gain at the end of the day, which, look, my people say,
Referendum by all means, but how do you get there? Why can't you explain this to us? So I'm not your enemy. Let people not focus on me like I'm the reason they can't have their banana republic, because I don't know ordinary Lagos. Is it Fulani that is ruling in Lagos? So please, I'm not suggesting that people cannot have their fantastic republic, but let them stop speaking without bothering to engage, to think to the end. If you are saying you want referendum, tell me how you intend to get there. Oh, it's the United Nations. How many countries of the world that United Nations intervene in the manner that you're asking that you should intervene? Tell the people the truth, for heaven's sake. It's not sufficient to be telling people, oh, Dua Republic and Biafran Republic. It's not sufficient to be saying that. Tell them how to get there, because in offering them that illusion, you distract them from what is achievable. So I'm not suggesting that people have no right to their republics. Let us not dissipate energy on where we don't have disagreements.
When it's not,
people have every right to defend themselves, and they have every right to self-determination, and they can demand their republics. But our current constitution does not provide a mechanism for the achievement of that.
That's
and
true.
I'm saying that unless you change that constitution to have that mechanism available to you, the only way you are going to get what you are demanding is by going to war. Be honest enough to at least admit it, so that those who will be fighting the war, since you are going to be sat in America, Europe, and where, what have you, let those who fight the war and be the first line victim know.
Yeah, that's a narrative that is different too, Barrister. Okay, it's a very different narrative. We are not asking people to go for war. We didn't ask
the Fulani. I'm telling you the consequence, and I'm not saying you. Somebody is saying to me that you are speaking grammar. We will speak grammar if that is the way to prevent a war.
People will react, Barrister. Okay, but there's something I want you to also, which is going to be the last part I'm going to ask you. Okay, you confirmed it that Nigeria is already at war. We have seen all the, all the pointers anyway. We don't know how is it going to get worse or what is it going to be after this. Okay, but however, people are going to eventually defend themselves, like you said. But there's something I want to ask you, that apart from looking at Nigeria, right, from all this, periscope, this perspective of we can look beyond the hatred, the division, look at what unites us and all of that. Have you took out time at all to review the movement of those who are demanding for the Dua Republic? And I ask for this for a reason. There's an organized what do you call it? Dua Republic campaigner in Yoruba land now called Ilana Yoruba. They've done a lot of grassroots awareness on their own, which has led to more street awareness on this as well, which is what is expected, right? Have you, by any chance, paid attention to just review for those who are doing, because it's so much like you believe that all this Oduduwa Republic and Biafran Republic is purely about the noise. Like there's nothing concrete on ground. I don't. Do you get what I mean now? So that's the impression I have. Yeah, that's the impression I have.
That would be a misunderstanding. That would be a
so have you taken time to check so far? No. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. That's why I said that's my own understanding of that, which is a misconception, like you said. But have you looked beyond the noise, as we call it now, and those who are really pushing it? Have you looked?
See, look, when Yorubas have this proverb, they say Tiwaju oba se lo.
That's right.
25, 30 years ago, I was an Odua Republic apparatchik. I was an ideologue. I would argue all the reasons why Yorubas were better off, and even Nigeria was better off fragmented, and that we should go our way. I argued it so passionately that I headed a Yoruba separatist organization known as Binu Konu. The late Chibolage was the life patron of Binu Konu, and I was the chairman. We were affiliated to Afenifere. And I'm talking about the Jebugbo years. That was during the Abacha years and in the early days of the Abu Salami transition. Yeah. Now,
there is nothing wrong with a conglomeration such as Nigeria having the ethnicities demanding self-determination within the federal structure, which was the basis of the federation itself in the first place. If Nigeria hadn't adopted, if it hadn't agreed to a federal structure with strong regions, the northern region under Ahmadu Bello would have been the first to walk away from the negotiation table. The only reason Nigeria came into existence was because the people agreed to be ruled. The leaders all agreed on the strong regions, and they also agreed on the federal system, which allowed people to develop at their own pace.
That's right.
If you returned to the last constitution of the Nigerian people that they agreed amongst themselves, which is the 1963 constitution, if you return to it today, all the secessionist agitation in Nigeria will disappear.
But we won't.
Oh, no, I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
You can elect. You see, this is the binary vision. You can elect to couch the argument in those terms, whether we would go back to a functional state or we just, and then you are not even saying whether we would. You have concluded that we will not. And therefore,
you know we won't. You know we won't. People have been demanding for this for decades. Afenifere demanded for it. Remember?
Between us,
sir. You know, Afenifere demanded for the same thing. 1963, didn't they?
Let me ask you,
okay,
my brother. You see, this is part of the issues that we sometimes have.
Okay.
The same Afenifere that is demanding a return to the 1963 constitution.
Yeah.
Where was it in 1999? Why did it not demand of Abdusalami a return to the 1963 constitution when the transition?
Why?
I don't know why. You see, this is why I'm asking. See, Mayegun, when you do the right thing, at the wrong time,
okay,
it has the effect of you having done the wrong thing. They were in a position of power. They had the negotiation capacity in the immediate aftermath of Abacha's death. There was a school of thought within Afenifere itself, and I was in that school of thought, that said, do not participate in this transition. Demand a return to the 1963 constitution, to a restructuring of Nigeria, or at a minimum, a return to the 1963 constitution. That was discounted. AD was registered in spite of the fact that it did not qualify for registration. That was the payoff. And that was why they did not demand the restructuring that they could have demanded at the time when they had the capacity to. So for Afenifere to be speaking of, I'm coming, please. When we begin to make these arguments, we should make them with the benefit of historical understanding and context. That is not to say that their refusal to do so in 1999 has invalidated it today. That demand is valid today. But I am saying that when you raise it today, from a position of weakness, understand that your strategic position has changed. You have been bribed in 1999 with the criminal called Obasanjo. You were bribed with him. They gave you the presidency, quote and unquote. So you have been bribed. So you can no longer demand that restructuring. We had the haste. We could have demanded it, but we traded it for a party. So let's be clear about that. Now, that we did not demand it at that time does not invalidate the right to demand it now. But if you are going to demand it now, you cannot demand it as a section. You have to demand it prepared to do the legwork that they are currently doing. Afenifere is talking to the Middle Belt people. He's talking to Oeneze Ndigbo. He's speaking to Northern Elders Council. They are now talking across channels. you will not get unanimity of opinions. But it is already obvious that Nigeria is dying. All I'm explaining to each and every one of us is that if Nigeria is going to die, we had better make sure that we birth a nation out of it. That nation might now birth other nations. But if we allow that country called Nigeria to die in the form in which it is currently getting ready to implode, all that will happen is this: the criminals will escape. All our rulers, whether they are Yoruba, Igbo, Ijo, they are all criminals without exception. They will escape. Europe and America will welcome them with open hands. Diezani is jetting all over the world on a diplomatic passport. The British have no problem with that. The Americans have no problem with that. And each and every one of these criminals are carrying second passports as well. It is we who will be stuck in this country and we will have to fight the war they would have provoked. So if we are so eager to pick up guns to kill ourselves, because we won't find any one of these bastards to kill, they would have left. If we are so eager to pick it up, why are we so reluctant to find the courage to talk to ourselves? And if we can unite ourselves, then confront our common enemies. Our common enemies are the ruling class. It's the ruining class that has ruined the whole country for everybody. The persons who are passionate about breaking up Nigeria, reform Nigeria today, they don't want it broken up. Reform it, make it work for everybody. Restore citizenship rights in Nigeria. Nobody wants to break it up. So when people talk about me wanting a united Nigeria, yes, of course, I want a united Nigeria. I want a united Africa. I'm sick and tired of being a second class. We are only vicariously human, for heaven's sake. What is wrong with us? The day, I think about 2 or 3 people died in Paris. Nigerians were busy shouting "Jesu Charlie, Jesu Charlie." Within that same period, less than 24 hours apart, over 200 people were killed in Bama by the Nigerian Air Force. Nobody Jesu Bama. So for us to even feel human, before we can mourn, we have to travel outside Nigeria to find other human beings to mourn. We cannot even mourn our own losses anymore. We are vicariously human. If we were not vicariously human, we will be thinking beyond, let's break it up. Why are we breaking it up? If we must break it up, can't we find peace first? Find the peace and then break it up if you must break it up.
So can you find
the peace first?
Can we find peace with AK-47 wielding criminals that the government can protect us from? I mean, it's obvious, Barrister. I mean, you can't rule this out.
Would we
People
find
will react.
Okay, no, you see,
how do we find peace?
When you couch the questions in those terms, when you couch the question in that term,
it's not really directly you putting yourself in that position.
No,
just your opinion.
The way it comes out,
just your opinion.
Is like it's more or less like I am defending
the
status quo.
No, you are not.
I am not defending the status quo.
I'm just throwing this sort of a rhetorical question whereby you look at it and then you tell me that what can we do then?
See,
how do we find peace?
We have to do the difficult job of decontaminating ourselves from this hate. That's the first thing. What has happened is that we have become blinded as to the commonalities of our afflictions by the fact that we can't see the commonalities of our humanities. If I cannot recognize that the people who are being kidnapped in Kankara are human, because I have numbed myself because they are Fulani, they are from Buhari's home state, and Buhari's failure is what has afflicted all of us. So the people in Kankara, I conveniently forget that they are human. So when I speak of the Fulani oppressors, Fulani bandits, I don't remember the Fulani children who have been kidnapped by the Fulani bandits. I also don't remember them because the Fulani are biased. the beneficiaries of the Fulani ruling class are not speaking in condemnation because of tribal affiliation with the failed leadership of the country. So it becomes easy for me to become desensitized, as if those victims are any less human or any less Nigerian than I am. And I'm explaining that until we begin to see the totality of the picture,
right,
what we do is that we alienate those who should ordinarily be affiliated with us, those who should be fighting in our own army, who should be on our side. We push them away because we fail to see that they are suffering exactly the same as us. That is exactly what the rulers want. They don't want you to see commonalities. Look, in every Nigerian state, I'm not talking federal now, I'm talking state. It is your own type that is ruling you there.
That's right.
The Fulani is not the governor in Oyo State, or in Ekiti State, or in Ogun State, or in Anambra, or in Cross River. They are indigenes of those places.
As well.
How productive are the lives of those that they rule? So the problem is not about breaking up Nigeria per se. You might break it up. I'm just saying stop. Once you focus on that, you are distracted from all the other things that you should see. There is nothing that we seek. I know that when I say these things, it inflames the passions of those who have devised Nigeria's solution as being locatable within a breakup of the Nigerian state. I can understand their anger, but I am not going to care one bit that I am pointing out the obvious intellectual indolence of the position that they have adopted. Because at the end of the day, unless you can show me a non-violent path to the breakup of Nigeria, then I deserve to be listened to when I'm proposing a secondary path to the same El Dorado that you are seeking by force of arms. I don't have to agree to go and die in anybody's army, because unless you are showing me a non-violent path.
But it's been non-violent so far.
Man,
no. When we're talking about this secession.
Get it. Tọmọdé bá ń gégi nígbó.
Okay.
Tọmọdé bá ń gégi nígboro. Àgbàlagbà ló máa mọ bí tó máa wó sí. You are making your demands peacefully. I've explained to you. I have no problem with anyone fighting for his right, demanding his right. It is a right.
It's been done,
to self-determination now. But I am explaining
there shouldn't be war.
What you are demanding, you have to have a mechanism for your demand. You and I are agreed on all issues. The point of our divergence is at the point of the solutions we seek to the problems we have agreed on. That I will not agree to your own solution does not make me your enemy. I'm not speaking to you as a person. I'm speaking to anyone.
I know. So everyone.
We are not enemies simply because I disagree with you. I disagree with your strategy. I don't need to agree with that. And you have every right to disagree with me as well. We can agree to disagree on that. You surely cannot tell me that in exercise of your own rights, I must lose my own. I have every right to disagree
as well.
To be part
That's right.
of a republic. If you are calling a referendum, we will still campaign now. Some of us might campaign that will prefer a united, restructured Nigeria. Remember this. If you are asking, do I want to leave Nigeria or stay in Nigeria? There is nobody who is still saying that would agree to stay in Nigeria the way it is, offered any other route. People are running away from a country, going through Sahara Desert, crossing Mediterranean. People are selling their bodies in Parisian Park for €5. because they ran away from a blessed country turned into hell by horrible bastards. And you think that given a choice, they will not vote to leave the place. The only way the people would ever vote to remain in Nigeria is if Nigeria is restructured, which is why I keep explaining to everybody, number one, for you to gain the right to a referendum, you must have restructured Nigeria. You cannot, you are placing the cart before the horse. It is only within a restructured Nigeria where citizenship and democratic rights have been restored to the people that you can have a referendum. You cannot. I'm not saying it's not desirable, but we must get to the point where we, beyond speaking of things, we must be able to envision the path to the achievement of the concepts that we are blabbing. You want Odua Republic. Look, anything is better than current day Nigeria. The question now is this: how do you get to that Odua Republic? Me, that I'm asking you, how do you get there? I'm not your enemy. I'm the man that is asking you to use your God-given brain. You want to go to Odua Republic? Nice. How do we get there? It's not sufficient that you want to go somewhere. You need to know how to get there. You can't tell me that I must come along without telling me how you want to take me there. Maybe I don't want to fly. Maybe I want to drive. Maybe I want to swim. Tell me how you want to take me there. At that point, I might be persuaded to come along. But I am telling you that from where I sit and from my own capacity to use my God-given brains, I do not see a peaceful path, because a referendum is not part of the Nigerian constitution. The only peaceful path that I have seen that people have brought up is the one that Tony Nadi affronting. I think that's the Nina's thing. And as usual, I've made it clear that I don't understand it. I really don't believe the Nigerian government and rulers will agree to a constitutional force majeure. They will respect it. But it at least has a path. And I've never spoken against it. Just as I've also never spoken against anybody's right to exercise their right to self-determination. But when you are busy with that big grammar, referendum, up and down the place, tell me what section of the fraudulent constitution of 1999 has referendum? If it doesn't have referendum, how do you expect to bring it about? Yes, we can go around, do the groundwork, educate the people about the desirability of Odua Republic. All that is well and good. But I would have preferred to see you working to educate the people, to demand accountability from the rotten bastards that have been ruling us since 1999, who are our own people. I would be happy to see efforts. Do you think any Yoruba politician will support such an effort to demand accountability of them? Hell no.
No.
But I guarantee you that a lot of them will fund secessionist movements as a distraction. They will fund secessionist movement as a distraction. They will fund anything to distract the people. So I have no problem with those who believe that the path to the solution lies through secession. I have only one question of them, and they have to answer it. How do we get there? The centerpiece of the argument has always been referendum. How do you intend to achieve that referendum in view of the fact that there is no such provision in the Nigerian constitution? If you then say that every time you have tried to make Nigeria work, they have killed us, so why would they not kill you for demanding something that is not in the constitution?
It seems that people are not tired.
Police reform, they are killing. So if they are not demanding referendum, sorry?
Yeah. I said, it sems that people are no longer afraid. It's getting to that point where the government of Nigeria has pushed them.
So why don't we leave that story? We are still afraid. Don't leave on that story. Human beings, as long as we retain the capacity to reason, we will still be afraid. The only people who are unafraid, let's see, people are always afraid. But we still do it anyway if we have to do it.
That's right.
The point I am making, which is very simple and clear, is this. if you can get people, if people have gotten to the point where they don't care anymore, it means they are desperate. Desperate people do desperate things.
That's right.
True leaders, genuine leaders, do not take advantage of the people's desperation. Genuine leaders imagine a different path, and they then mold the opinions of those desperate people whom they build into an army, not necessarily carrying arms, an army of ideas. You build them instead of building them into thinking that Odua Republic will solve all their problems. First of all, remind them to ask their governors to account for what they carry. Let's start dealing with the Fulanis in our Sokoto. I'm not suggesting that you should not focus on the separatist part of your agenda. It's a political idea. Separatism itself is a political idea. I can contest for federal office on a separatist platform.
That's right.
I might want to do a republic, form a party within Nigeria. Within a reformed Nigeria, if we had a parliamentary system, I could form a party and gain the power in my region and then mobilize the region to be demanding
to leave,
to secede, which is what happens with Scotland. Which is why you have devolution in Scotland, you have devolution in Wales.
That's right.
So these things, the only reason we have such a ready embrace of secession is because it's the easy option. Nigeria is not working, we are going. But when we do that, because our time is fast spent, but let me point something out to all of us.
Please, go on.
Let me point something out to all of us. The only people who reflexively demand the breakup of Nigeria are the Yorubas, the Igbos, to a lesser extent in recent time, at least since 1966-67, the Fulani and the Hausa to a lesser extent. But it is only those major ethnic groups that are always demanding the breakup of Nigeria. But you know the funniest part of the whole thing? If you finally begin to look at Nigeria dispassionately, you will find very quickly that these majority groups are actually the true minorities. Because the sum total of the minority groups in Nigeria, the minorities trapped in the south, the minorities trapped in the west, the minorities trapped in the east, and in the north. The sum total of that minority is larger than the largest of the three major ethnic groups. They don't want Nigeria to break up. That is a silent majority that none of you who are thinking of breaking up Nigeria ever really pays attention to. They don't want Nigeria broken. They don't want to find themselves trapped in any one of the several ethnic enclaves.
How are you sure? How are you sure? I mean, what's the evidence of that? I mean, this is personal now, because you are talking from, I believe, a fact background on that. How are we sure? Because to find out, barrister,
you can sample opinion.
To find
don't
out,
worry, sample opinion.
Exactly. So I mean, to find out fully, right? To find out that we need a referendum.
Don't
so
worry,
an intellect like yourself.
I am telling you what I found from my own research.
Okay.
I can tell you categorically that the Jukuns of Taraba are not interested in becoming part of any Arewa Republic.
Okay.
You are not going to get the TV wanting to be part of the Arewa Republic. The Barewas of Bauchi, the Berom of Jos, the Langtang people of the Plateau Hills, none of them want to be any part of any Arewa Republic. I very much doubt that a vast part of what is generally and glibly claimed as Biafra today would be happy to leave Nigeria if Nigeria can be reformed. Let us be clear. The only thing driving Nigerians out of Nigeria is Nigeria itself. But if we can sit down, we live in other people's countries, we can be vicariously human in the environment that other people have built. They didn't build it by wishing it. They built it with sweat, with blood, with determination, great sacrifices. People died. It didn't happen overnight. What price are Nigerians willing to pay for the country that they want? Because
they don't
all
want
that
Nigeria,
I ever hear,
Barrister. They don't want Nigeria. That's what you are missing.
You still don't get it.
Okay.
You still don't get it. You say they don't want Nigeria. What do they have? It's not sufficient to regurgitate what they want or do not want. What is our reality? What do we have? What can we do with what we... You think I want Nigeria the way it is? There is a sense in knowing that I'm sat down somewhere, I've not fought with anybody, I've not stolen from any man, simply because I spoke my truth. My life is endangered because other men who have powers of government have determined that what I am saying is against their interest. Do you think I want to live like that? Is that the kind of country I want to live for my children when I die? My next birthday, I'm going to be 53. I can't live another 53 years. I know I'm going to sleep one day if I'm blessed and I won't wake up. What about my kids? You think I want them to live in that kind of country? I don't have a second passport. Neither do any of my children. I don't have a home outside Nigeria. I do not own an account holding more than, I think I have about less than $90 in one account that I opened over 15 years ago in America.
Wow.
Everything I am or that I own is in this country named Nigeria. When I'm speaking, I'm not speaking out of any personal interest. I'm speaking from knowledge, and I'm telling you, as desirable as these our different republics are, it is because Nigeria has failed. If we can agree that Nigeria has failed, we don't have a disagreement on the principle, on the subject. Where we disagree is on the road. If you decide that the way to get out of it, let's agree that Nigeria is a problem. You decide that the way to get out, you have determined that the only way out of this problem is to break it up. Just get away from this. It's not working. We both agree that it's not working. No, we both agree.
Yeah, we both agree that it's not working, right? Good.
Yeah, but a vast majority of Nigerians, actually a vast majority of Nigerians, at least in the South, have determined that they want to leave. It's not even that they want to leave. They are being forced into a choice. Exactly. So I'm saying all of this so that we can understand that we are not disagreeing on the facts. We are clear on the fact. What I am saying is that if your part out of the problem is secession, I am saying my own part out of the same problem is unification
before anything
restitution, unification. No, everybody who has stolen from Nigeria must pay back what they have taken. It's not sufficient to break up Nigeria. Everybody who has, when people begin to talk in terms of breaking it up, you're not talking about accountability again. You're not talking restitution again. So the rulers are happy to have this divisive argument about breaking it up, because when you're talking break up, you're not talking accountability. You're not talking accountability for the lost lives. You're not talking accountability for the looted funds. They have looted generational wealth out of Nigeria. Nobody is going to be talking about that again. We are talking war. If you're talking secession, you're talking war essentially. So they get to live with their loot. They escape their loot. And we get to be fighting an avoidable war because we simply refuse to talk to ourselves. When you are done fighting the war, you will still talk.
That's right. Thank you so much, Barrister.
Secession too.
See, you and I will always have to do this again, even though you are so hard to hold down.
However, you won't catch me the right to come. Yeah, the one who keeps me the most. I am so tired, is unbelievable.
Thank you so much. I mean, I can imagine. So it's been a pleasure talking to you
for
tonight.
Having me. Thank you.
And we will at least we will enjoy this for a long time. So you can say your good night to my friends, and we are looking forward to seeing you again. We will do it again. Maybe not soon, but
anytime.
we'll do it again.
And if they deport me from Odua Republic, I hope the Biafrans will accept me.
Everybody will accept you, because as you have even rejected Nigeria, you know that. But you want a Nigeria that is structured, that is for everyone.
This Nigeria is already dying.
This one is gone. So let's see what happens, and then yeah. So what would you like to leave us with tonight before you go? I mean, few words again.
Well, all I'll just say is this: I do not discount the pain of the disillusioned Nigerian patriots who have embraced separatist agendas. It's normal. If your lovers won't, if your loved one won't have you, you have to find some way to cope with the madness of that lover. So sometimes this happens. The realities of Nigeria does not make it popular to preach to the unity of Nigeria. But the reality suggests that the only peaceful path to the achievement of each and every one of these enclaves would be to find a way to unite the country first. Those people, the path to the achievement of everything we seek is in the unity of Nigeria. That's the only way they will account for their deeds. It's the only way we can birth a new country. You can then have your strong regions that might graduate to become independent nations. It's the only way to ensure that we avoid the looming tragedy in front of us. We are being provoked to war. We should be careful not to take the bait. If nothing else, remember that we are being provoked to war. We should be very, very careful not to take the bait. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been like longer than planned, but
thank you.
We know why. This is Mayegun's Diary Political. It's been a pleasure. You have a good one, and good night, sir.
Wow.
It's a tough one. I'm sweating, by the way, even though I've not been the one doing all the talking. Tonight, like I told you before now, that it's always good to have opinions that are diverse. We all have something in common. We all agree that Nigeria is not working. Even those who are benefiting from Nigeria will tell you Nigeria is not working. They know, right? But the solution everyone has is what Barrister Dele agrees that seems to be to differ. But when we listen to ourselves, we might find a common ground. If you have, if you have sat with us throughout this long stretch broadcast, well, you probably have become so tired too. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me tonight. Somebody said I should get Mazi. I want to get Mazi Nnamdi Kanu onto Mayegun's Diary, and I believe it's going to be a I'm actually going to have to be prepared for that. I've sent him a few invitations, but I've not really been lucky. So until when we get him on, it will be a pleasure to have him on Mayegun's Diary someday. So I'm looking forward to that. There are many, many other people I would love to bring on Mayegun's Diary. Let them talk to us. We don't have to completely agree with their views on what they are, but you are going to pick a lot of points from what they will say. And that's why Mayegun's Diary is different. So thanks so much for those of you who have been with me all through. I'm going to see you some other time. So tomorrow is Sunday, and therefore we're going to have our Sunday sermon all with Mayegun. To everyone who phoned in, all of you who have shared this video, and then those of you who have actually commented, your super chat, super sticker, I saw all of them. I'm sorry if I missed them, okay? I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, give me that thumb up under this video. Not just that. Also, you can also, subscribe on Mayegun's Diary. Please do if you haven't. If this is your first time of watching Mayegun's Diary, it's quite interesting on Mayegun's Diary. And for those of you who are just joining and you likely want to see this video again, it will be premiered in the afternoon tomorrow and before our broadcast later in the day. I'm going to see you again next time, and good night to everyone.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí pa. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọ́ mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́. Ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n